I always kid about it. I found Jesus on a bet. Academically, I was almost too successful. Let me explain that to you. For some reason, they decided they would skip first grade, which they don't do anymore. And I was talking to a school principal one time. She said, we don't do that anymore because it makes, and she started to say something. I said, I know what it is. I said, the kids do fine academically, but socially, they have lots of trouble. And that was really the thing. Being younger, I was 16 when I graduated from high school. I was 20 when I graduated from college. And at that time, I couldn't sign a lease on an apartment, though I had a job. So a lot of it was related to that. I was always, a little, I guess, socially, I won't say inept, but it was awkward, Particularly when you're in the middle school and high school years. Everybody's bigger, taller, stronger. You're kind of like the little scrawny guy at that point. And that evens out over the years, but just going through that whole experience, being younger than everybody, that was a real struggle for me at the time. I went off to college, and at the time I was a college junior. I was an engineering major on the dean's list. Nice guy with a bright future. If your daughter brought me home, you'd probably, breathe a sigh of relief. I was that kind of guy. But there was something inside. There was kind of a, I don't know how you call it an emptiness, call it a personal darkness that somehow accomplishments just didn't fill. They just didn't take care of it. To be very frank, I found college Christians to be annoying people. You couldn't go to the Union and have a cup of coffee between class without somebody coming up and wanting to give you some kind of little cartoonish tract. I had a Christian fraternity brother of mine. He invited me to come and hear a speaker who was in town from California. He says, I'll make you a bet. He says, if anybody annoys you there, if you go to anybody, does any of this goofy stuff, he said, I'll never bother you again. You don't ever have to come back, and that'll be okay. And I thought, oh yeah, slam dunk. It's gonna be easy. Well, but what I heard that night was different from anything I'd really ever heard before. It was a guy talking about a personal God, a God that loved, a God that forgave, a God that was interested in you. And it was, like I say, it was almost like a little bit of light getting into that personal darkness. One of my favorite memories of the whole thing was, my first time I ever went to one of these Wednesday night, they had a supper, which was always good. When you're a college guy, you're always hungry. But they had a supper and they had a Bible study and a little prayer group at the end. And my buddy was there and he says, okay, we're going to have prayer circle now. And I said, well, okay, what do you guys pray for? And he kind of laughed and he said, well, he says, we used to pray about you. So I guess you might say that I lost the bet, but I like to think that I came out a winner in the end. I actually met my wife at church. We've always been active. I've always loved working with kids. So of course, they're always looking for people to work with kids. So I've been a storyteller in Harbor Town for the elementary kids. I love doing crazy stuff. I bring in masks and goofy costumes and wigs, and a couple times I've used the kids as puppets. Solve 7, for example, Solve 7 Sunday. You do lots of stuff, you help people in a physical way, but the focus is really on why are we doing this? It's to make a road, make a path so they can know Christ. And I really enjoy that. I think that's one of the best things I've seen.
Hi guys, my name is Beth Maxey and I'm the Stewardship Director here at Whitewater. I absolutely love hearing and watching stories just like Bob's. As you can see, his life was changed And our mission here at Whitewater is very simple. It's to help people find hope in Jesus and a home in his local church. And I think that's exactly what Bob was able to do. As a matter of fact, he actually jumped on board and became a volunteer here in Harbortown as well. It takes a ton of resources to do what we do here at Whitewater, and Harbortown is no different. We provide snacks for the kids, we have tons of activities, and we actually have many staff members who are dedicated to helping your child find hope in Jesus as well. If you are giving and serving, know that you are making a Whitewater difference. And if you're not, I'd like to challenge you to take a step forward in faith, because you too can make a Whitewater difference. You too.
It's sincere though. You really believe it.
Well, I do believe it.